the question has always come up, like, how am I going to make money doing content? Because as you will discover, it takes a lot of personal resource, it takes a lot of financial resource, and at the end of the day, what's the point of creating a lot of video content if we don't have a strategy in place on how we're going to make money doing this? Okay, so let's just start first with some sound advice. So my first piece of advice, and Monique, Stephanie had a little bit different philosophy on this. My philosophy is if you don't have a support team in place, you really should have one series that you're thinking about developing with a clear profit plan. So unless those three attributes fit underneath one series title, if any of you are thinking about, you know, I can do this series and I can do this series and I can do this series and I can do this series, what we really need to do is rein that in and make sure that you're focusing on one series that you're going to knock out of the park before we start thinking about all the other potential series. So how do we narrow our focus? Choose the one that has the straightest line to your sales conversions. So let me give some examples for those of you in class. So Laura, one of Laura DeFranco's profit paths for her is to onboard new authors. So one of her series ideas was she was going to interview some of her previously published authors and create a series around that. So her and I did a one-on-one coaching because she missed our last session. And so that makes sense for her to do a series featuring her authors, and she is in fact promoting the fact that she is a self-publisher. And oh, by the way, if you have ever thought about being a published author, I'm going to make it so easy for you to find and contact me. So the series is in alignment to her sales conversion. Another one, Dr. Lorraine and Rich, you guys have a brick and mortar. You're probably trying to get clients to come in and access the products and services that you're selling. And so, you know, one of your ideas might be, and I don't know exactly what your facility offers, but let's say you did IV therapy or pharmaceutical grade supplementation or full blood panel testing. A lot of your content can really support those products and services that you're hoping to drive traffic for. So think through that when you're thinking about how you're developing your series. One of the cautions is if you're creating video just from a place of passion, oh my God, I'm so passionate about this, you need to make sure, if that's fine, as long as all your other revenue streams are very solid. So, you know, you can do it. I did mine initially when I started my video journey as a passion project, but I was a very solid high-level business consultant, and I was taking money out of that to feed my passion while I was trying to figure out how to monetize it so that I could actually live my passion and make a living doing that. Never do a video just to get content out there. So if you don't have this sort of strategy as you're building your series, your content will almost seem to have ADD, because again, we all have expertise in different areas. And it's kind of what Stephanie was saying. There needs to be a consistent theme to how you're developing content, so that if somebody says, you know, catches that one video and they're like, oh my God, that was awesome, this is my person. And then they go to your feed on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever it's at, and it's all over the board covering different topics, you're going to lose them. So you're gonna hear me say over and over for years, don't chase too many squirrels, narrow your focus, become brilliant at that. When you're making money and you hire that support team, then you can go out and start to expand into some of your other areas. Always remember, video is a business, and when you build it right, the revenue streams will come in, but video is a long play game. So most of us in this boot camp, you know, don't have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of followers yet, and these big brands are already coming to knock on our door. And so that's why I really wanted Stephanie to come on, because she started right where, you know, all of us are at, and now she's at 1 million followers, and she just got her kitchen fully furnished. So that is possible for all of us. And just to tell you a little bit of background on what I mean by video is a long play, when I was a business consultant in 2011, I was working hard, doing my work business. And I was like, oh my God, I want my own TV show. I want to travel around. I'm a health explorer. And I funded my first show. So some of you that were on our team call, you know, heard this story, but basically I came up with the concept. I created my pitch kit. I went to PBS and pitched it. And they said, yes, if you create this show exactly how you're presenting it, we will broadcast it. And I was kind of like, oh crap, I guess I have to create a TV show now. So I had no funding. So I literally self-funded my first video project. But what that did was it gave me credibility in an industry where I was a nobody. I had never produced content. I had never had a show. Now all of a sudden I had a show that was broadcasting on a PBS network. And so I was able to leverage that to work on my second show, which was happening a couple years later. It was called Senior Moments, and I was able to get enough sponsorship to help me cover the majority of my costs. I still didn't break even. I still didn't make a profit. And when we're talking television quality content, we're talking $30,000, $40,000 projects, not $250, you know, per video type projects. By the time I got to my third show, which was last year, I was then successful in acquiring sponsorships and advertisements, and for the first time made a profit on my video show. Again, these were all television quality, but it's a long play. You almost have to leverage every success that you have to really build towards that dream of monetizing your content. And then my last piece of sound advice before we jump into the tactics is never let the naysayers hold you back, and that includes yourself. So sometimes our biggest critic often is ourselves. And I'll never forget a moment when I was sitting across the table for dinner, and this was somebody that was a friend. I viewed this person as a friend, and they looked at me when I was starting my second TV show, and they literally said to me, why are you even doing this? Like, nobody's interested in that topic. And I kind of felt like I'd been punched in the stomach a little bit. And he was referencing a segment that I had slated for my second TV show, in which I was going to travel to Rancho La Puerta and share the story of the godmother of the spa industry. And, you know, if I had not fully believed in myself and what I was doing and the impact that I had hoped my content would have, I would have not produced that segment. And that was the segment that was nominated for an Emmy Award. So I will be your biggest supporter in encouraging you to move forward, and will never be a naysayer for you. Okay, so let's talk about strategy number one, which is really making sure that you're on point with your personal return on investment strategy. So what I mean is, how are you going to leverage your own money to make money? We're not talking about other people's money yet, OPM. We're not talking about OPM. We're talking about your own money. So the first thing you need to do is get clear on what product and service that you're promoting. And then we'll talk about the tactics of how you would do that. So what product and service am I going to promote with this video content that I'm doing? Hopefully some of the work that we've done earlier in boot camp has gotten you a lot closer to that answer. Now, like I said, a lot of us have different series idea. Go with the series idea that complements that sales conversion process. So what that means is, if you're selling one-on-one coaching sessions on how to get unstuck, the content that you need to create needs to support the introduction, the fact that you're doing that, because what you're doing is you're giving them a taste, a sample, a teaser, a bit, and you're making them want more, because the ask is going to be, hey, if you liked this, guess what? I have programs. I have one-on-one consultations. I'm able to work with you in all these different ways. So think about that. And then ensure that every component of your video supports that personal return on investment strategy. And there's hard sell tactics, and then there's soft sell tactics. And so I'm going to use Laura again, just because her and I had a one-on-one session today. But she was talking about, and I think I copied all of you on a response I had sent to her, because it was a little confusing. Okay, if my guests are actually health and wellness experts, most likely the audience is somebody who's attracted to a health and well-being topic. So should I be promoting sales of the book, or should I be promoting, you know, how to onboard a future author? And so, you know, part of what her and I work through together is, you know, to support her business, she needs to have authors. She needs to be publishing books. And so she's going to create, in fact, I think she posted in the Facebook group already, a standardized series opener that is basically letting the viewer know out of the gate in a soft sell way that she is a book publisher. And that's what she does. That's her passion. That's what she's really excited about. And so she's going to create an opener that's like, hi, I'm Laura DeFranco. I'm the founder of Brave Healing Publishing. And today, or in this series that I've created, I'm going to be speaking with all my published authors, and they're going to share their health and wellness expertise, because I'm going to change the world one story at a time. And then she'll have like that standardized opener. So what she did in a soft sell way was let anybody watching that video know that she's a publisher and that she works with up and coming authors, or somebody who's interested in an author. The hard sell might be she actually creates a 10 or 15 second commercial that rests either at the beginning or the ending of her video that says, hi, I'm Laura DeFranco. I am a self-publisher, and if you find that you're interested in publishing, I want you to reach out to me directly, because I can help you move to the next level in getting your book published. That's more of a hard sell directly to the viewer. All of it's appropriate as long as the bulk of your content is not hard sell, because that's called a commercial or an infomercial. Another couple key points here. You only want to drive viewers to something that's going to exist 5 years from now. So make sure your platforms are solid, or your points of contact are solid, because it's a pain to go back and try to re-edit. Oh my God, I produced 30 videos, and now that you know, directive that I gave is not relevant, and it's going to cause some editing havoc in the future. And then another thing that this sounds like a no-brainer, but I see people that make it hard to make a purchase all the time. Make it blatantly clear in your language, in the text that you put at the bottom of your screen, in your comments when you post the video, in the copy of the video, because make it simple for them to convert. So I'm gonna minimize my screen here and see if I have any questions before I move on here. Maybe I am. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Let me make sure nobody's trying to get in here. It's a little bit harder when I'm actually teaching. I can't see everybody. Okay, we're good.
I have a quick one, Deborah.
Yeah.
You just said something about making it easy for them to make that purchase, either with words at the bottom of your screen or in the notes of your show.
Yes.
Should you do both? Is there a better converting way to do it?
No, I mean, I think honestly what's going to convert people is the quality of your content and your personality. So when they're resonating with you, they'll make the effort to, you know, make the contact. So you don't want it to be too salesy, you know, where it's like, you know, you've got tags and commercials and you're constantly talking about it. But, you know, it's not inappropriate to leave your email up, you know, like the entire time that the episode is running, or your website or your social tag, you know, whatever it is that you're wanting them, you know, to direct them to. It's not inappropriate at all to do that. That's the soft sell. Okay. And I'm doing the ways to monetize video in the order of which I feel it's going to be the most accessible for you first. So as I move along, they're getting harder. Not harder, but you have to be a little more established in order to monetize in different ways. Okay, so another thing for you to consider, and I have become a master at this, is doing barters. So the reality is, once you start to, produce content, you're paying to host a channel on Well World TV. You might have to pay for some ancillary support in creating a graphic or, editing, adding the music, memberships to here, there, or the other. So that really becomes your production budget. And so there's certain elements of your production budget that's just a hard cost. And so the way that I look at barters is you don't want to just barter to barter. Like I always try to use logic when I, am thinking through things like this. So when you think about barters, just know it's not going to result in cash flow, but it could be something that's valuable for expense reduction. And then it's best if you're finding partners, obviously they're going to find value in your audience, but you want to find value in their audience as well. So I try to have anybody I'm considering doing a barter with, I want to have a conversation with them to understand, what's in it for you, but what's in it for me. And I'm always the type to ask for the world and take what I can get. So if you're, talking about conducting and doing a barter with another company, you can over ask them, like, hey, if I send you a newsletter, will you send that out to your database? Or I'm going to do a video and tag it. Will you share that on your social platforms and in your database? Because that's only going to drive traffic and create a good relationship. So you're really looking at, what are they bringing to the table, and does it match what you're bringing to the table? And I'm going to kind of open this up for some conversation so that we can talk about bartering a little bit. And I'm going to share like how I have leveraged some of the barters to the benefits of either myself personally or to Well World TV. So I established a barter with a company called My Pure Life Food, and they are a healthy food delivery service. So I was able to provide them a certain set of resource, a little bit of consulting, and they literally deliver my food to my front door twice a week. So it not only does it keep me on track from a health perspective, because I'm not always going to shop and, prepare my list, but, my order is, over $100 every single week. So it has a hard value that's saving me on my budget. Same thing with like Slash Fitness. So I like to work out, when we could work out in the real world, I like to do functional training classes, and they're very expensive. They're like $21 a class. So I went and talked to the owners. I said, hey guys, I think, what you've got going on here is amazing. Let's get us some video content going. I'll become a producer for you. I'll help you get your content. And, I bartered for classes so that I could actually work with them. Another one is, this is an event. So I have several events that I am partnered with in different capacities, but sometimes there's an event going on that you can leverage to your benefit because maybe you want a booth, maybe you want signage, maybe you want to set up, maybe you want to be a speaker. So what can you create to work with that event? Well, you can feature them on your, you can write blog articles. You can grant them one of your chapters in your future book. You can say, hey, you know what? I'm launching this new aesthetic procedure in my brick and mortar, and I'm willing to, do some video of you going through this process in exchange for, so always be thinking about, not necessarily cash coming in, but how do these barters actually benefit my business? So I'm going to open it up for you guys to maybe ask me some questions about some of your series ideas and what potential barters could work. So let me bring up the comments here. Okay, who's got a question about their particular series? Anybody?
Hi, Deb. Okay.
Hello.
Hi. So mine is not like, I don't have anything tangible.
Oh, I think we lost you.
Oops. God damn it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Damn it.
God
By the
bless
way,
America.
by the way, $21 a class. That's pretty good. They're like 40 a class over here.
Ugh, painful.
Anyway, I don't have a product that I'm selling. Basically, I'm selling me.
Yes.
So I have to figure that out, how that works.
Yep. And we're gonna we'll talk about that. I have a slide coming up on advertisers and sponsors, so I'll actually cover that one a little more specifically. In fact, I may try to find your little one-page proposal that we put together. So pause on that one. Jyothi, Deborah, so for my chaos guru, what do you propose? Okay, so, one of and I'll talk a little bit about, there's going to be run over in some of these ideas, but, one of the things that is very barterable, and it's a little hard right now because we're all basically trapped in our houses and we're just trying to make the best do with what sort of studio we can create. But you can definitely barter for a location. So my relationship with CoSpace really started almost as a mutual benefit for each other. So I was doing certain things for CoSpace. They were letting me come into these rooms, set up. I had a nice backdrop. The internet never fumbled. And so you can do almost, like a location barter, so, hey, I'm going to come in. And then I started to promote them. So when I was doing my Psychology of Wellbeing series, I would always start it out with, and before I bring in my guests, I just want to let everybody know this program today was brought to you by CoSpace. CoSpace is this new amazing concept in South Florida, blah, 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 and then moved on. I could put up their website, so there's all sorts of ways to bring value to them that's not necessarily, I'm giving them an aesthetic service and they're giving me this. So we're going to talk a little bit about media exposure as value. Okay, Leora, I'm going to come back to yours. And everybody can still see my screen? Okay. So think about barters. Those are the easiest to do. Honestly, I could barter all day long. I could barter all day long. And you'll just have to think about, what are you bringing to them? What are they going to bring to you to make the relationship worth it? Okay, another way to start thinking about how to monetize your content is what's called affiliate marketing. So basically, when you think about your series, think about what products and services would make sense to present to your audience. And you're probably not yet in a position where you're going to set up a whole Shopify world and start selling, yoga mats or fitness apparel or, all these other things. So the exciting thing, almost any major company has some sort of an affiliate marketing program. And so, for example, Target, Amazon, Adobe, Walmart, within your niches, Vitamix, Gaiam, there are all sorts of affiliate marketing programs and anybody can set it up. The challenge is you're going to get your first check and it's going to be $1.38 for a month, so it's definitely a slow grow. But if you're consistent with it, you stick with that product line, people start to associate you with that product line, you can actually start to make some decent money using affiliate marketing. The way to find out if there's something in your category, and I'm gonna pull up an example and share this with you, because I wanted to find one that you wouldn't think there would be affiliate programs to support, and just show how easy it is to try to find these. So just Google some of your keywords that support your content of your series, and then type in the word affiliate program, affiliate offer, play with it a little bit, but something will come up. So let's go here to my website here. Okay, so I said, you know, what are the odds that meditation would have some sort of affiliate program that I could possibly consider linking into my series? And guess what? I found tons of articles on affiliate programs that are working with the content around meditation. So this was an article, I can share this link in boot camp later, but it lists all sorts of platforms here: Buddha Grove affiliate program, Commission in the Cookie, Mind Place Company affiliate program, the Best Listener affiliate program, Amy Petit Colvin affiliate program. So I didn't go into all these. I mean, some of these may be garbage, some may not, but I just wanted to demonstrate that, you know, when you think about your series and your content, you can find ways to try to start monetizing, and it doesn't cost you anything. So again, we're going from easy to hard. Basically, so for Well World TV, you know, think about the conversations that we've had over the last few weeks. I am thinking about reaching out to a keyword tool platform and being able to create economy across all my hosts so that you guys can have access to a keyword. Probably I would get some sort of affiliate revenue coming back for every Well World TV host that decided to, you know, use the keyword tool. That's an example, just so you can start thinking about it like that. Okay, I'm just gonna leave my slides like this, it's easier. Okay, so now, and Laura, you can probably jump in and chime in a little bit about this because she actually worked for a branded content company. So another way that, and I'm going to show you a couple segments that I produce that technically fall within the realm of what we call branded content. So what's happening in the world of media is that companies are shifting to what they call pay for play. So back in the day, you know, when PR was truly PR, you would do a press release. You would like, oh my God, I'm so great. You need to feature me in your magazine or on your TV show. And then if they believed you, they would say, okay, great. Let's work with her. Let's get this done. Companies got smart and they started working with high-level producers to create content that promotes their brand, but it's done in a way that's educational and fun and interesting. So there's a couple things to think about, and I'm going to show you an actual segment that I did that's basically a branded content piece, and just so you can get an idea of how you can do it. There are some things to consider. So when you start taking money, other people's money, to put it into developing your content, it does change the dynamic. So when I worked with PBS, they had so many strict guidelines around, you know, if you take money from a sponsor, you can't feature them in the content because the relationship changes. When you start taking money, now all of a sudden you have a boss that you're going to have to please, and that's always in your head. So you have to make sure it's the right company before you start taking money to help produce your content. Those partners have to be in alignment. They have to build value for you as a brand, or you're going to build the value in what you're pitching to them. You have to build a budget. So you're going to have to say, okay, I probably have to up my game in what I'm producing. You're going to build a sales kit, and then you're going to go sell it. So I'm going to let Laura chime in here, and I'm going to show you an example of some branded content that I've personally produced with Laura, actually. So this was a short, I did a short digital series about 1.5 years ago called The Body Transformed. And it was really following my journey as I had gained some weight. I was not taking care of myself. And I was like, you know what, if I created a video series and it was kind of in the public eye, I would definitely be held accountable to doing what all these experts are telling me to do. So I created the series called Body Transformed. And I was like, okay, well, what kind of experts would I want to work with that I could get as sponsors? and would also match the content that I'm thinking. So I was like, okay, an anti-aging functional medicine clinic, the healthy food company, My Pure Life Food, the fitness component, and then I kind of wanted a spiritual and a mental sort of component. Those became my sponsors and my advertisers. And then we created this branded content. So here's an example. Pay attention to the opener first. So as you guys are thinking about the opener, this is a very, very simple one. Anybody can create this very inexpensively. It goes on the front of every single episode, so it creates that sense of a series. So pay attention to that. And then, you know, you can see right here, the soft sell is the fact that Chad is wearing a blazer that says Liquavita Lounge. And I'm not going to play this whole thing, but I just want you to see the opener and how he starts to talk and just acknowledge that this is branded content.
As we look towards designing a healthy aging plan for Debra, one great addition is glutathione, which is known as the master antioxidant of the body. Antioxidants are good for us because they help slow the rate of aging and oxidation and free radical damage to the skin, the tissues.
So he goes on. So that's a branded content piece. So the beauty of that is they paid me money to help produce, you know, and pay the cost to do this digital series, but I presented the content in a way that's interesting and engaging for the viewer, because he's talking about an antioxidant, glutathione, that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of. So you can get really creative if you're working with the right partner and you're not like, you know, all of a sudden they're kind of sabotaging your efforts and trying to control how you represent them. It could be a really beautiful match between what you're trying to accomplish and getting your content out and what they're trying to accomplish, which is get their brand out. And once you're ready for that, you know, I have tons of information on how to do that. I can send you my sponsor kits that I've put together and how I built the value for them. Laura, do you want to jump in and talk about branded content? Laura. Okay. We'll just move on. I hope she's not trying to get in. Hold on one second. Okay. Okay. Let's keep trucking. Another one I wanted to show you guys is another one of Stephanie's. This is more product placement. You know, so again, when you're thinking about whether you're bartering with a company, whether they're actually paying you to feature them, you know, this is a way that she stayed true to who she is and what she does, but she's also, you'll see there's a, you know, a little more than a soft sell on a product line.
Our summers are filled with barbecues, pool parties, and get-togethers with friends and family. There's always a lot going on, which is why shopping brandless is an easy choice.
Oh, wait, Miles, can you help me a second? Sure.
I especially love their bakeware items, like the 12-cup muffin pan and the professional half-sheet pan. It's amazing that they're only $9 each. I can stock up on quality products without paying the markup prices of other retailers.
So you guys get the idea of that. And then here's another example. I was going to show you this one. So this is a segment that I produced in conjunction with one of my hosts. And I just want to show you how this is more of a soft representation of a brand. So when you're thinking about, you know, for her, she's kind of like Dr. Lorraine and Rich. She has a brick and mortar. Her interest is to drive clients into that brick and mortar. And so when I was shooting some segments, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, you know, saying Brazilian Med Spa, come in, you know, she's got some great deals, but this was the aesthetic of the background. And I'll just show the very first part of this.
So I am about 5 weeks into my body transformation, and overall I have great news to share. So I'm eating properly, I'm hitting my fitness classes every week, and I'm down about 11 pounds. But I am noticing there's some stubborn stuff going right here in my midsection. So I found an expert in Dr. Brasilia Lazari, and she's going to do a treatment called Thermi Body Smooth that is going to tackle this stubborn belly fat. And she's going to tell us all about that.
Hi, Deborah. I'm so glad.
So you guys get the idea of that. Okay, any questions at this point? We've only got a couple slides left. We're going to end right on time.
So Deborah, I just have a quick question. This
Yes.
looks so high level. Is this that is,
I'm cutting out just a little bit.
I said, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I said, I love what you showed. It seems a little high level for where I am. Is there something that I could probably start with that would get me into this space, or at least create a plan to step into that space?
Yep. So what we're doing is, like we started, at the beginning. So the first step for you is to get clear on what it is that you're offering that you're going to convert that viewer into. So, and what's your answer to that? So what is it that, and actually, because I kind of know where you're at, you're still in a developmental phase. You're probably still figuring that out. But are you going to sell a training program? Are you going to sell one-on-one coaching? Are you going to sell readings? So that is your first strategy, is to start to monetize using your own platform. What's going to happen is, from that, now you have successful video. Hopefully you're starting to generate some revenue. And so then you can use that to leverage to kind of get to that next level. The next level will probably be bartering. Everybody, any of you guys that are doing an interview series already with us or on your own, everybody wants to be featured and interviewed, right? So you can build small packages that guarantee a certain number of interviews, certain number of tags, a certain number of mentions. You can start to build in some support to barter with them if they're bringing you something that's valuable. It's really not until you're a little more established, they're going to go to your social platforms, you're going to leverage Well World TV, because as I grow, as the network grows, your ability to reach people is going to grow exponentially. So, you would be able to say, hey, I'm a host on Well World TV. We have X number of followers. These are how many views I'm getting, not only in the Well World TV space, but on my own social platforms. That is going to have value for somebody. Most of us are not quite there yet, but that's our objective.
Deborah, this is Jyoti. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can someone help us with the videos and the B-rolls and making it look professional?
Yeah, and that's I think I was talking to Leora about that yesterday, or somebody I was talking to about it yesterday. So we are starting to get those types of requests coming in. So what I'm hoping to build for you, and it's not here right quite this second because I'm trying to navigate some of these relationships so that we can have an economy of scale. But yes, we can provide support on building your thumbnail. I can provide resources for editors to do some back-end editing, social posting. Like I have Alyssa who's willing to work with some of my hosts for $15 an hour to help with, building graphics, posting on social platforms, because it can get very, very overwhelming. In the future, when all of this is built, what you're going to see with Well World TV is there's basically going to be a DIY channel, which is I'm very self-sufficient. I have my own team. I'm just going to upload content and leverage your audience. And then there's going to be a DIFM path where a new host will be able to say, okay, you know what? I need help with building thumbnails and doing keyword analysis. I need help with social posting and this. And then you'll be able to kind of add a la carte that level of support that you need behind the scenes. I would say where we're at now, just reach out to me directly. Tell me exactly what you need or what you feel like you need support with. and then I will try to hook you up with the right, the right people that I have, at least for the moment.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so branded content is a little bit different than working with advertisers and sponsors. So I just want to make the clarification. Branded content is really where the focus of the segment supports the business that you're working with. So in that Liquavita Lounge where Chad was talking about his glutathione, I custom created that in Liquavita Lounge. He's wearing his logo. That's a branded content piece. Advertisers and sponsors have the same dynamic, but you represent them a little bit differently. And the easiest way to clarify that is when you turn on TV and there's a commercial break, those are advertisers and sponsors that are coming in to share their message. So you may be watching Law and Order, and then all of a sudden the commercial pops up and it's for, old Bob Chevy who's having a weekend blowout sale. So you will be able to acquire advertisers and sponsors at some point, but it's not as relevant for us right now because they want eyeballs. Like that's all they care about is how many people are watching, who are they, where do they live, how much money do they spend, and are they highly interested in my products? So again, this is a little bit longer play, but there is potential for us to get advertisers and sponsors. And I've been successful in doing that. So I will know when my hosts are kind of ready for this and then help you build your sponsorship kits, have those conversations. Who are you going to go talk to? So, when I think about advertisers or sponsors, I was working on a new series concept before the world shut down called Travel Well. And my intention was to create customized segments under that main title, Travel Well. And so the first series I was going to launch under that was Travel Well Spa Journeys. So obviously within that, there's some natural advertisers and sponsors that would fit with my spa journey concept. So that could be hotel and resort properties that had spas, spa product lines, yoga, fitness, that sort of spa genre. That is who I would think about as being my advertisers and sponsors. Your process is the same. You have to show them the value, and the value for them is eyeballs, views, conversions to sales. You've got to build your budget. How much is this show going to cost me? And make sure that I'm working in some profit for myself. Build your sales kit, and then you got to go sell it. So that's kind of the path that lays ahead of us right now on, from easiest to hardest. And then, what's in the future for you when all of these, when you're slowly leveraging every success that you have, there's all sorts of ways to monetize your content. So Stephanie was a shining example of somebody who's been hired to be a brand ambassador. She's been a paid influencer. She earns organic ad dollars. And what that means is like on YouTube, once you have 1,000 followers on YouTube, then you just start now, if you choose, you can just start earning some ad dollars. Your first check might be $2. 5 years from now, you might be making $20,000 a year from organic sort of ad dollars. And then there's network buys, so some of us are going to elevate to a level where a network's like, I think I'll just buy their content. Like if you're creating 22-minute episodic content that's of television quality, somebody's going to come and buy that from you. Or your series gets picked up. And then all of a sudden, you're basically working, you're Rachel Ray or, somebody like that. So that's kind of the trajectory and the path as I see it on what really is feasible for us. And, I've traveled a lot of this. So that's the good news is I know that it's possible because I've done it. I'm still learning. My social platforms are not huge. They are my focus now because I'm moving backwards. I started with professional production. I moved to the OTT space, and now we're in the social world.